Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the South Los Angeles Best Buy Teen Tech Center. This is a collaboration with the Annenberg Foundation and your Vermont Slauson Economic Development Corporation. 10 years ago, I met a bright young lady who was a self-described tech nerd. She asked me to be her mentor. She exuded the passion for technology and carried a desire to introduce what she had learned over the years to our kids in South Los Angeles. We talked about one day bringing a state-of-the-art computer lab to South LA. We didn't know at the time, but God already had his plan set up for this. In 2017, I left the city of Los Angeles employment and was honored to be named the president of Vermont Slauson Economic Development Corporation, following the passing of our beloved founder, Marva Smith Battle Bay. And that young lady, I'd met that 5 years previously. She would not let me forget my promise to bring tech to South LA. In 2018, we were fortunate enough to be introduced to the Annenberg Foundation through that mentee. And at this time, I'd like to recognize my mentee and one of the queens of dreams, Miss Cassie Betts. Cassie? Where are you, Cassie? She's inside. There she goes. One of the things about mentoring her was being on time. But anyway, Cassie Betts, everybody. You missed all my comments. All right, you can just sit. I'll see you back. Cassie has made tremendous contributions and continues to make contributions to this technology center. Fast forward, Annenberg saw fit to support us by providing funding for improvements to a building that was in much need of repair. Hopefully, if you haven't yet, you've seen some of the improvements through the funding of Annenberg and what it's produced for us. We are particularly thankful to Allison Holmes. Allison? And Cindy Kennard. Cindy, where are you? Not only for believing us, but encouraging us to pursue the highly coveted Best Buy Teen Tech Center grant. While extremely competitive, VSC was awarded this grant in 2019. And without the leadership and support of Best Buy CEO Corey Berry, who was here this past December, and her team, who I got to give a shout out to, William, Greta, and Brandon. I know William's here. William, where you at? He's around, there he is in the back. That's our boots on the ground guy right there. Without that dream team, we would not be here. I also want to recognize Jeff Arthur. Jeff, where are you? Clubhouse Network. There he is, guiding us, keeping us on track. Initially, this project was intended to be 18 months, but COVID had other plans. 3 years at times seemed to be an eternity. But without partners like Raw Architecture and Tom Dunsmuir, we would not be celebrating this day. I'd like to acknowledge Steve Lott. Has Steve made it yet? I don't think he's here, but I know his partner is with Curtum, and that's Ms. Brenda Curry, an African-American woman contractor who built this center right back there. At this time, I'd like to welcome some very special guests, Ms. Andrea Wood and Mr. Daniel Green from Best Buy. Andrea and Daniel.
Wow, this is incredibly exciting. I'm Andrea Wood. I'm the Vice President of Social Impact for Best Buy.
Hello, everyone. What a beautiful day it is today. I'm Daniel Green II, and I happen to oversee the largest direct distribution center in North America for Best Buy. It's a pleasure to be with you.
And Daniel drove in some California traffic to get here, so we give him some extra credit for getting here, right? I'm learning about California traffic. So, you know, there's a social entrepreneur, Lila Janae, who recently passed away a couple years ago, but she has this amazing quote that I always like to talk about, which is, talent is equally distributed, but opportunity is not. Talent is equally distributed, but opportunity is not. And that's exactly why we're here today, right? Because we know the talent in this neighborhood, the talent in this community is so amazing. But the opportunities aren't always there to help our youth really explore their passion and develop their talents and then realize bright futures. So our purpose at Best Buy, you probably all think Best Buy's purpose is to sell you stuff, to sell you technology. That's important. Please go shop when you need something, right? But actually our purpose is to enrich lives through technology. And that's what we're trying to do with the Best Buy Teen Tech Centers. If you all haven't had a chance to go and look and then tour the Teen Tech Center, it really is a place to help youth find their passions. It's a safe after-school space. We have almost 50 of these across the country now. We're on our way to 100 in the next couple years, so we're really doubling down to have more of these. And really excited in LA in particular, because with the partnership with Annenberg and VSEDC and some of our other amazing community partners, we're opening 12 of these across the LA County. Really excited. So this is number 3. We have a long way to go, but we've got some great partners who we've already picked out to expand. So this will be part of a community, a Teen Tech Center community, where youth are going to really be able to develop their passions, their talents, their skills. Hopefully we get at Best Buy, hopefully Daniel and we have Juan here, our district manager. Hopefully we get to hire some of these folks. Hopefully they're excited and they want to work for Best Buy too, because that's part of my dream as well. We have a 5-year, $20 million commitment between Best Buy and our partners in LA County alone to be able to do this work. And we're really excited to see it come to life. I know, Joe, you've been very patient. 3 years is a long time. But we dug in, we said we were gonna make it happen. So we wanna appreciate and thank Joe, you, everyone who's been part of this project, your patience and your tenacity and your persistence to be able to make this happen. So I'm gonna stop talking, turn it over to Daniel and let him tell a little bit about his story too. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You know, I've had the pleasure and honor of visiting now 3 Teen Tech Centers, 2 here in Southern California and 1 in St. Louis, Missouri. Now, one of the best things that I love about Best Buy's Teen Tech Centers is that they forge connections and relationships for Best Buy employees like myself, as with the communities that we live and work in. For me, that's extremely powerful. I want to share a brief story with you all today. During my time, I had an interaction with one of my team members, Jeremy. During one of Jeremy's shifts that I was overseeing, he stopped me in my tracks and said, "Daniel, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being yourself." In that moment, I was shocked, I was floored. For the first time, someone had seen me. Jeremy had seen me. I share that brief story with you all today to remind us all collectively of the life-changing power of connection. Human connection. We all want a sense of belonging, and this Teen Tech Center brings that to this community. For myself, if you can take a brief second, close your eyes physically or even psychologically if you choose. I want you to imagine the doors of this Teen Tech Center wide open, embracing and welcoming all the youth of South LA. All the youth of South LA. Now, if your imagination is much like my own, those possibilities are extremely endless. I cannot wait to meet and engage and interact with all the amazing youth of South LA. Thank you for giving me a couple minutes of your time today.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Andrea and Daniel. Appreciate all your support. And yes, it's been a long journey. We had some interesting dynamics across this world, but we got it done. Next, I can't say enough about this team, but this person, because while Allison Holmes and I, we're the ones that are dialoguing all the time. This lady allows her to do the work that she does. So with that being said, I'd like to bring up the Executive Director of the Annenberg Foundation, Miss Cindy Kennard.
Thank you, sweet Joe. Thank you, sweet Joe. So thanks, Joe. Thanks so much. Okay, because it's hot, I promise I'm going to be short. But I just want to follow up on one thing the last speaker said, which is connection. And I got a question for our mayor. Mayor, when was the last time you saw a collective group like this working together, public, private, corporate, nonprofit, all together to, and happily, by the way, few bumps, but happily working together? This is how we need to be. And this is how we are in the city of Los Angeles, as the mayor knows, because you've led us to that. So thank you for that. And thank everybody that's been a part of this together effort. I am Cindy Kennard. I am the Executive Director of the Annenberg Foundation. I want to just start real quickly by honoring some of those people that came together to make this happen. Community members and nonprofit leaders from South LA. Can we just give them a quick round of applause? South LA, you are happening. Students from middle and high school, special shout outs to our students. They need us, but we need them. Education leaders, I know we have the big guy here today, which is so great, from LAUSD, but we also have district and county level as well. You are our warriors on the front lines for the city, for the county, and the state. Thank you. Tech sector leaders, venture capital investors, corporate partners, foundation leaders, and I could go on and on. Again, the point being, we did this together. We did it together happily. To say the last 2 years have been difficult to all of us. You know, sometimes you have those days where you just look back and say, what on earth was that? What on earth was that? It was so challenging. But one thing we did learn was access, better yet, lack of access to technology resources like this new center has, high-speed internet. Really the tools needed to train and educate and lift these young people. We need this as we move forward. So we all understand that places like this power the next great idea in tech. And to follow on what other speakers have said, can you imagine the next Snap, something, whatever you prefer, TikTok or whatever, coming out of this building? Or even better yet, an engineering method that makes us all make technology more accessible. So congratulations to all of you that will be using this. And finally, at Annenberg, this is what we do. We connect, we convene, we hope we bring people together. On behalf of Wallace Annenberg, our chair, and our board of directors, we want to see partners join us with this. We want to have support for the programming, Joe, so you can move forward, and internships and all of that together. Finally, a shout out to my team. Allison, you've already been shouted out to enough, but I can't say it enough. You've done a great job on this. Our marketing and communications team, you're out there somewhere. Good job. I can't do this without any of you. Natty Rodriguez from Annenberg Learner. I know you're working with the Board of Education and with the school district, and I thank you so much. Without further ado, Mr. Superintendent Alberto Cavallo, come on up here and say hello. And we're so glad you came west. Congratulations. Somebody's phone.
Thanks so much, Cindy, for that wonderful introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Nothing beats people of goodwill coming together to carve out common ground, to elevate the dignity, the potential, to honor the promise of youth. And that is exactly what the Annenberg Foundation, what Best Buy are doing here today. By inaugurating one additional Teen Tech Center, we are allowing the potential of youth to be realized. It was said earlier, and I agree wholeheartedly. Human potential, talent, ability is equally distributed. Equitable access to the opportunity that delivers on the promise for all youth is not. And if in fact we are to reach that equity gap that often exists in many zip codes, we come together, we partner, we decide to do that which has not been done, and we create those opportunities for young people. I heard that Best Buy saying that There are 50 centers. You want to expand 50 to 100. LA is so big, you could do it all right here in this community. It is so big. And for those who, and thank you so much, you mentioned Miami to LA. This is the real deal right here. This is the city of the future, not forgetting the past, where opportunities will be realized. So I'm here to simply say thank you, thank you, thank you to all the partners, to obviously to Joseph, to Best Buy, to the Annenberg Foundation, to our city, to our teachers, our students. This is a dream come true, and the possibilities it will unleash are absolutely unstoppable. Talk about equity, access to digital content, to engineering programs, to the opportunities that digital content brings about, the opportunity to explore. This is true education 24/7, anytime, anywhere, and is brought to us through this partnership. Thank you very much on behalf of the second largest in the country, soon to be best district in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Superintendent, and welcome to Los Angeles. We hope you have a long stay here. At this time, I would like to bring up an outstanding young man. He's a high school senior, and he's an aspiring software engineer, and he would like to share a little bit about his story. So with that, I'd like to invite Marcus Mitchell to join me at the podium. Marcus.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Marcus Mitchell. I'm a high school senior graduating this year, and I've had the privilege to take a couple virtual programs offered here by the VSEDC. My first experience with tech was learning robotics in middle school. In my first 2 years of high school, learning coding working with the organization called Urban TXT. I was also able to get an internship at UCLA Youth Force to teach children from our community how to code websites and become leaders. At the same time, I learned about blockchain, cryptocurrency, and about NFTs. All these experiences helped me to lay a foundation for my future career path in tech as a startup founder. My team and I have already began developing 2 apps, a local guide to restaurants here in LA. I nicknamed it like the Waze for restaurants, and an AR app for shopping that lets users see what multiple items look in their room virtually. You can see it on Amazon. I was fortunate to be able to access these tech programs, which helped me chart my path for my future career in tech. Unfortunately, not all students have this access and opportunity. And that's why I think spaces like the South LA Best Buy Teen Tech Center are so important. They help students learn, develop skills, and set real goals that will lead them to tech industry jobs and beyond. I'm also excited about the potential for youth entrepreneurship. I had a chance to participate in the Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge with the VSCDC, Union Bank, and Nifty earlier this year. With a physical center adding to programs like this and technology like 3D printers to help teens make prototypes and a DIY fashion corner, I think you'll see many businesses coming out of this. In the future, I hope to become an entrepreneur and use my businesses, developing apps, websites, to help give back to the community as I establish my career in tech. I hope to return here as a mentor to the next generation of talent behind me. If you're here tonight and something resonated with you about the mission of the South LA Best Buy Teen Tech Center, thank you for being here to celebrate this important new resource for our community. As I conclude, I want to ask each of you, how can you call upon your networks, your talents, to support the Teen Tech Center? Let's ensure that youth from this community, underserved for generations, receive nothing but the very best. Amen. Thank you.
We're going to adjust the run of the show just a bit because I know you all would love to hear from our city leader. I have the privilege and honor of introducing to some and reintroducing to others the mayor of the city of Los Angeles, Eric Garcetti.
Well done. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. How's everybody doing? I mean, look at this party. This feels like we have excised away or exercised away the last 2 years of not being around each other and Zoom calls and 2 dimensions into the space of 3 dimensions, where we can see and feel and believe again in the potential of this entire city of angels. And I want to thank our incredible team that's here. I'm going to get to them in a second. But, you know, Daniel, you did something that I was actually going to also do too. So I'm going to ask actually the young people just to close their eyes for a second. Just listen to my words. And if you're young at heart, feel free to do the same. Imagine a city for a moment where people dream about space and engineer a way to get there and build the rockets in that city. Imagine a city where more #1 hits have been recorded than anywhere on the face of the earth, and where musicians feel the beat from the moment they are born, and they come up learning the skills on streets that have produced the sounds that move us. Now open your eyes and look around, because that's the city you live in. That is Los Angeles. And while we can say we have challenges and we have never not had challenges, there's not a city on the face of this earth that does not. How lucky are we, for some of us, to be born here, and for the rest of us smart enough to have moved here? And we welcome you, Superintendent. For whatever people are saying, people moving from LA to Miami, this is living proof they're coming from Miami to LA. This is the town with the most tech jobs in America, more than up in Silicon Valley. The most diverse technology jobs in the world. The only city in America with 3 top 25 universities in the city. The only place with 3 top 50 universities globally in the world. And that's just 3 of 24 campuses that produce more engineers than anywhere else in the United States of America each year. My father grew up a few blocks from here in South LA. His elementary school, 68th Street Elementary School, now bears his name, the Gil Garcetti Learning Academy. And I know that he had that same feeling of too many youth of color today, where it's so close, I can see the Hollywood sign, but is it there for me? Will I be able to, I can see Snap down by the ocean, but can I make the next one? Well, thanks to Cine and Annenberg, and it has been now since we launched, what, 4 years? Pledge LA, to say, we got all the ingredients, let's just make the commitment to say, if I'm already lucky enough to be in tech, I will bridge that to the youth that are here. Because we love migrants who come here for great jobs, but isn't it even better to grow them up here? Who are already stabilized in housing, who are coming out of our schools, who are able to connect our stories with the rest of the world. And thanks to Best Buy for believing in that vision. And there's no better city to be in. We will share a little bit with those other cities. I think you could do all of them here, but we'll settle for half. And Joe, I want to say something about him, because our fathers had worked together, then we got to work together. And the vision of Vermont Slauson Economic Development Corporation to make this a reality with Annenberg and with Best Buy makes this the best place to be in Los Angeles today and tomorrow and for the rest of the time that this center will be there. So I want to thank you for bringing this together. I want to thank Capri Maddox, who's here. She is our general manager of our new Civil Rights, Human Rights, and Equity Department. Something for everyone. But that equity mission is more than words for us. And I want to thank the folks who have believed in the young people as the bosses of tomorrow, as the storytellers of tomorrow, as the coders and engineers. They're going to build the next bridge. They're going to tell the next movie. They're going to found the next company or companies, Marcus, and you killed it up here. Marcus's first speech like this. Come on, give him a round of applause again. So when you cross that bridge on 6th Street in just a few weeks, think about what we can do every single day in each of our neighborhoods to build those bridges, to connect those electrons, and to make sure truly this is a city of belonging and a city of angels. Thank you and congratulations. And because I noticed like one blank wall up there, we brought you this on behalf of the city and 4 million grateful residents.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Absolutely. Whoa, don't snowball. We can't lose you.
That'd be fun.
That's right. You bet. Thanks, Joe.
Can we split this in 3 pieces? Thank you, thank you. At this time, I'd just like to acknowledge a few of our dignitaries and long life supporters, not just of mine and Vermont Slauson, but of Marva's. First of which is State Senator Steve Bradford, my friend. Thank you, Steve, for being here. And Steve, from a personal note, thanks for carrying the load that a lot of people don't want to carry. You had 2 bills last year, and Bruce's Beach, huge, huge, thank you. And from one who came from a law enforcement background, law enforcement reform. Thank you, Steve, appreciate it. Capri Maddox, I know, Mayor, you acknowledge Capri, but where is my sister at? I know she's back there somewhere. All right, thank you for being here. Robert Sasueto, Community Build. I know Robert had to step inside, he's checking things out. And we have representatives from Supervisor Holly Mitchell's office, as well as Councilmember Marquise Harris Dawson's office as well. In closing, I have a few little comments to make, and I hope you'll bear with me. And if you could just hold it down for just a few minutes, we can just get your attention for a few minutes. We're almost done. I first want to just thank you for recognizing the importance of this day. I shared in my opening remarks how we got here, but I didn't tell you why. While the margin of smartphone ownership among young ethnic groups is nearly even, 80% of white households have dependable internet, with African Americans at 70% and Latino families at 65%. I must thank, first of all, he's not here, he's been battling an illness, but he was the person that carried the heavy load for us. And I want to recognize Mr. Donovan Green from AT&T, Lupita Sanchez Cornejo, and a representative that is here, Ursula Moran. Ursula, where are you? There she is. Why is this significant? We went to AT&T because we heard that 5G broadband was going downtown LA. And we called out AT&T out. Why are you doing this? Why not South LA? Well, I'm here to report that they stepped up. We are the first commercial building in South Los Angeles to have 5G right here. Thank you, Ursula. And please send that to your colleagues as well. We really appreciate it. COVID further exposed the disparity among ethnic groups, with over 20% of South LA students not being able to access the internet while working remotely. I could go on with statistics, but we all know what the challenges are for our kids. Best Buy, Annenberg, and VSEDC are doing their part to narrow the divide in South LA. This is a national crisis. We must equip our youth with the digital tools, workforce, and entrepreneurial training and support that they need to compete for the jobs, not of the future, but for now. If you feel the same as we do, please partner with us, support us. This is a community investment and asset. We need your help. In closing, I want to thank a few other people. One is the Los Angeles Police Department. I know Sergeant Gil Gaxiola is here and his team. Anytime I call on them, they're here. So Sergeant Gil, thank you. I see you in the back. Thank you so much. I also want to recognize one of our newest partners who actually is sponsoring this reception today, our newest sponsor, Silicon Valley Bank. And in recognizing Ms. Guerrero, where are you, from Silicon Valley Bank? Did she leave? Perhaps she did, but awesome. And then I could not do this without the support of my board of directors. I want to recognize my chairwoman, a familiar face to the city of Los Angeles and DWP, Ms. Keisha Washington, our board chairwoman. My other board member is Kyla Lee. I saw Kyla here. And our newest board member, Miguel Acuna, my former colleague with the city in the Economic and Workforce Development Department, just recently retired and has joined our board. And lastly, a person who cannot be here, but she recently retired after over 3 decades in banking, Ms. Sylvia Castillo. Sylvia has retired from Union Bank. Union Bank has been the lead supporter on our youth entrepreneurial programs and our youth pitch competition. So would you help me acknowledging my board, Union as well as Union Bank. And then there's my Annenberg buddy, who often not mentioned, but never forgotten, Calvin Self. Calvin, where are you? A lot of what you see happening is because of this gentleman over here to my right and your left, Calvin. And lastly, I can't forget the work of my VSEDC team. Just 5 years ago, we were 8 people. Today, we stand at 32. 8 people to 32 in 5 years. This is what helps build this, what I call our jewel for South LA. So I really want to thank Libby Williams, Libby, leading this charge, Corey Carlton, and all my staff for doing their everyday work and still doing this. And I know they're going to have some words for me later about that, but really appreciate all that. And lastly, I think I've said that a couple times, Ty Buckman, she's probably in the tech center. But Ty is our tech center coordinator. She is the lady doing this work each and every day. And you probably have met her. If you haven't, once you do the tour, you'll see her. So please acknowledge the work of Ty Buckman. I know I've probably missed something, but with that being said, we're gonna stay on time because my team knows I am about being on time. And with that being said, I'd like you to continue to enjoy the evening, the great food, the music of Sadal and Black Noise Band, and please drive safely on your way home. And thank you everyone for being here.